let's say worst case scenario, I wonder, can the S rank healer still heal them if the leg gets left behind, or is it like
Yeah, I mean that's a thing. I don't know.
okay?
Hello, fellow weebs and otakus, an episode of Anime Fix, or your fix for all things anime. I'm Chase.
And I'm Lance.
Hi, Lance.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. I am good. What'd you watch this morning? You watched it this morning, right?
Yeah, I watched it this morning. Episode 2 of Solo Leveling.
Has this series just taken over the podcast? Is that what's gonna happen?
I mean, it very well might if you don't watch any of the other anime I've asked you to
Hey,
watch.
calm down, okay? We just subscribed to High Dive, and there's so many like exclusives on High Dive.
I think isn't Oshinoko on High Dive?
Yeah, it is. So is Call of the Night. So is I Quit Heroing. There's so many good ones on there. I'll give you my password.
No, I'll set up my own because I don't want your weird recommendations taken over.
Yeah, that's fair. It's actually it's cheaper than Crunchyroll unless you do the free Crunchyroll.
I don't do free Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's cheaper than Crunchyroll. But yeah, Solo Leveling episode 2. Initial thoughts?
Totally escalated, like not escalated, it's not the right word. Raised the stakes even further. Maybe it's not right. It was an improvement. It was a solid, like it got better. That's the simplest way to put it. First episode was like a banger, and the second episode was even better than the first episode. Like it's constantly raising the stakes, and you know each level, each we learn each episode we learn more and more about this universe. I was telling you right before we started recording that we learned in this episode how there actually is a stake. So before, at least for me, in the first episode, you know, they say how these portals showed up and how people started getting these abilities, and their abilities are now ranked. And they go into this dungeon, and there's like this financial incentive, right? To be made off of these portals. And that's all cool and all. But what was different in this episode is even if there wasn't a financial incentive, there is a sort of I don't know how you would classify it, but there is a world impacting consequence for not in getting involved. And that's because if after the portal is open for 7 days or more, all the monsters, all the supernatural beings that exist in that portal are now able to enter this world, the human world.
Yeah.
Which was a stake that I thought I was like, oh, this is gonna be, a fun adventure, but like there's actually, you have to do it. There's no real option. The financing, the money is sort of like an afterthought almost from the protecting the universe or the world from collapsing.
Yeah, and then that's a hit on that. Think about a scenario where a portal or a gate opens and no one knows about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like an abandoned building or like something like that happens, like because they have to find these portals, right? Like nothing like pops up like, hey, portal appeared in this location. No, it's just like, oh, this portal appeared. How long has it been here? You know, if it's like an abandoned building or something like that.
They also said that the portals, once they close or after 7 days, they relocate. Like, so it's it's a random. They said that they randomly appear in new places, and so you not only do you need hunters to go in and like empty, clear the dungeon and get rid of the portal, the gate, but you also need people to find these gates so that when more hunters can go in.
Yeah,
and And if your hunters start dying, so like you have certain people, you don't want to send your E ranks into your S rank dungeons,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true too. And then like what happens if it's like over the ocean or and this is just portraying South Korea, right? It's not portraying anything else.
yeah, this is all in South Korea. This is
Yep.
not, as far as we know,
Yeah.
this isn't anywhere else in the universe. It's just South Korea that this is happening.
Yeah, which is wild to think about. Just
Yeah.
hey, South Korea is the only one that has this problem.
Which doesn't have to,
Yeah.
but it'd be really cool if there was like, if they're gonna go into the nuance of like why the portal's happening, the effect of the portal's happening, why people go into the portals, and the necessity of going into the portals. Like, it would be really cool if there was some sort of lore explanation for why only this area has been, and again, it doesn't have to, but it would be kind of a nice little, bonus add on. So yeah, like this episode totally just stepped it up another notch, and I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, you would think like this episode would answer some of the questions that we had, but it asked just more questions, honestly.
More questions are created. And then I will have to. I didn't review what I said at the end of the last episode, but I think at least one of the things I said possibly could happen is that our main character figures out sort of the riddle, the puzzle of the commandments.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I said anything else beyond that, but and that's what happened here. Is so he was, because of him. It's because of him that as many people survived as they did.
Yeah, how many people survived?
Um,
Well,
Six.
we think that survived, I guess.
Well, we
So
think that's a band. I guess, yeah, we don't know, and we'll get to that. So the commandments were revere God, praise God, and was it betray your faith in God, or was it like something like that?
Prove your faith in God.
Right, prove your faith, yeah. And so like how they figured, so how he figured it out was, so he realized that because they were all on the ground, the god in this dungeon wasn't attacking them. So he stood up, and right as he was about to get like obliterated, which by the way, I want to real quickly circle back to another character who got obliterated. The guy who was like, I've had enough of this. My speed, I think my speed can.
I'm real confident in my speed. I'm really confident in my speed.
Yeah, and not even seconds after he took off, just gone, and his like you see his ankles and shoes, just
That's
flying
wild,
through the air. Yeah,
it's wild.
which I was I kind of I chuckled a little bit because because it's just like that hubris of the guy just saw a bunch of other people just get obliterated, right? And then he's like, oh yeah, clearly I'm better than
that.
all these people. No, but anyway, so our main character stands up, and then he immediately just bends over, right? He just like lowers his head, puts his hands, in a sort of like prayer, sort of like in a worshiping stance. He was down on the ground, head touching the ground, and just stayed there, right?
Yep.
And the monster, the eyes were glowing, getting ready to like just burst him into flames, and then stopped.
Yep, because he went back down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then everyone else do it, right? And so what happened is the monster instantly switched to that creepy,
that creepy big smile. Yeah. Kind of spoiled that a little bit for the first episode. And I was like, did he smile yet? And you're like, no.
Well, I completely forgot.
Good.
Until you brought it up again. So
good.
But yeah, so yeah, it does this creepy smile, and so everyone's like, "Oh, okay." So I start standing up, and they're like, "Is it over?" And then clearly, obviously, it's not over yet.
Yep.
Then this monster stands up and starts walking around, right?
Yep.
They're like, what's the second commandment? praise God.
Yep.
And this other overly confident guy's like, I've been studying. I think it was I can't.
Ethnomology or something like that.
Yeah, ethnology or something like that. But I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, me too.
But basically implying that he's like a student of like worshiping different gods, I guess, or different types of prayers. He walks up there, he's like, I'll handle this. And so he gets down on the ground, he starts praying, clearly is not doing anything, and he keeps praying, and then he just gets the foot just comes down and crushes him in front of everybody. And I think it was our main character, wasn't it? That was like, you're praying to the wrong god.
Yeah, you're praying to the wrong god.
So
and then just gets crushed, man. And then like there's another girl, right, that like is just sitting there and then looks up and just like you see her just get smushed, like,
yeah,
and
that one,
that was wild.
yeah, that was very wild because I was like, I feel like this moment was way scarier than the fire sort of
Laser
combusting
beams.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
laser beams. Because I feel like that would probably hurt for maybe a millisecond, and then you're toast anyway because you're completely gone. Versus this one, you're actually feeling your body just
Getting smashed.
smashed.
Yeah.
And it definitely sort of reminded me of Attack on Titan, final
Yeah.
episode. But so they all start running around, and then of course they're running around, so the soldiers are reacting, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes up with another. He notices that the ones with the instruments aren't doing anything,
Yep.
and he's like, "Praise God," So like, hey, everyone, run to the statues with the instruments, and they all do that. And I guess you have to have one each statue because when he and his friend, the B rank healer, get there, it doesn't work. So he starts running, and he just barely makes it.
I
Loses
know.
his leg in the process. And I was really surprised. Was the injury so, because they tried to heal him after,
Yeah.
but was the injury just so severe that he just couldn't get his leg healed, or?
Yeah, so she's only a B rank healer. So if you
Mhm,
remember, like from the first episode, that S rank healer can heal almost anything, but a B rank healer takes too much mana to try to heal that.
mhm. So I'm wondering, like, let's say worst case scenario, I wonder, can the S rank healer still heal him if the leg gets left behind, or is it like,
Yeah, I mean that's a thing. I don't know.
okay, so
Yeah, because he lost a leg. He's real injured as well at this
mhm.
point.
But he just barely makes it, and so like this god gets it's praise
Hmm.
for the rules of this dungeon, of this room, and so it goes and sits back down,
Yep.
right? And then the altar comes up, and I love how the one guy was like, well, this is your fault, you already admitted it's your fault, so you are a
Yeah.
sacrifice, go over there.
Yeah.
And so he walks up, and then the flame comes up, and he realizes again, hey, we all need to stand in this, and the one flame appears for each one, and then once they're all in there,
Yeah.
the
The
blue
blue
flames
flame.
appear.
Yeah.
And he pretty quickly figures out, hey, just keep an eye on them and they won't move.
Yep.
And he's like, the blue flames are going out over time. We just need to wait this out. And once the blue flames are gone, we need to walk out of here.
Yeah.
And of course, they all freak out and they start running. And the more that run away, the less eyes there are to keep them, you know, in their place.
I know.
And, huh?
They said, yeah, I know. Like, because like one, the first girl leaves and then throws him to the ground, I think, and then
Yeah.
the second guy leaves, and then now there's four of them, and that one dude is just like, I can't do it, and then it's like, if you leave, you're gonna leave blind spots, which he does, and then
Mhm.
they're only like halfway through the timer at that point.
Yeah. And anyway, I'll fast forward a little bit. So he it's getting to the point where he's like, you take her. He's like, I'll stick around, you take her. And he's like, who's gonna carry her out? Basically, he's like, who's gonna carry her out, dumbass?
Yeah, I
Like,
know, because he only has one leg.
yeah. And so he takes her and he runs. He actually knocks her out too.
Yep.
um Before he carries her and runs, and then it leaves him behind.
Yeah.
And I love there was like a split moment there where he was like, can't believe, why did I just say that? At least I'm the one to die. Why can't I be selfish?
I want to go home too.
Yeah, I want to go home too. And meanwhile, he's having these thoughts as they're like just stabbing him and flinging him through the air, and then he lands on the altar, bleeding out. And suddenly the last blue flame goes away, and
Right as he's getting stabbed.
Right as he's getting stabbed, and this sort of computer graphic appears on the screen and says, what was it? Courage of the Weak?
Yeah,
Player
Courage of the Week.
like
Yeah, Courage of the Week, mission accomplished or something like that, event accomplished.
Yeah.
And then it says, you have met the qualifications to become a player. And then it said, if your heart will stop in 0.02 seconds unless
you don't hit
if you don't become a player and hit yes. Would you like to become a player? Yes or no? And at the last scene or last frame, you see the button click yes.
Yeah.
And that's just, it ends there. Just
Which,
wild.
by the way, let's just point it out here. There was more than 0.02 seconds that went between that display and the clicking of that quote. So
yeah,
but it's artistic.
Just wild, right? Like all that scene and everything was wild.
Yeah, totally amazing. From the music, like the story, the art, the ambient, like the build up, fantastic.
Yeah. And in the manga or the manhwa, because it's South Korean, this would encapsulate chapter 1.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we are just now at the end of chapter 1. That's
just now. Mm-hmm.
Now our chapters in Korean manga pretty versus Japanese manga, are they pretty comparable, like in like length and stuff like that? I'm just trying to associate with things that I've read already.
So this is like a manhwa like webtoon. So like as far as webtoon goes, this would be chapter 2. But like in like a serialization of the manga, I think the one I have it's chapter 1. So if you're speaking of webtoon, it's right on pace.
Oh, so
like,
this is when you say webtoon, you're talking about like the actual webtoon site where people can draw.
Yeah, it's not on that site. There's another one that's similar that's on that site, but
Okay.
it's pretty much a webtoon.
Okay.
Yeah, it started off
That's
as a
really
webtoon.
cool. So yeah, so a webtoon that grew so popular that it became serialized in manga format.
Yeah, I mean it's not the first one to do it. If you think of One Punch Man one was one as well.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, right?
It's so good. I mean, such a cool concept of an idea, and to think it just came out as somebody's like, yeah, I think I want to draw this and publish it on this.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like some of the best games, like video games, come from like one developer. So like Stardew Valley, one dude. Lethal Company, one dude, right?
I've heard a lot about Lethal Company. I haven't. Have you played any of it yet?
Aubrey has. She's played a lot of it.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Earthbound.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff, man.
Undertale.
Yeah.
Shovel real Knight. Big. Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons of them, man.
So, but yeah, it's just this is so, and I'm like so eager. What's gonna happen next?
Yeah, what's gonna happen next?
So watch the episode, predict what's gonna happen next. So
yeah,
there's such an emphasis that what you're born with is what you have, and there is no changing it whatsoever.
No amount of training, no amount of nothing can help.
No amount of training, no amount of nothing, and I'm thinking that because he passed and was accepted, I'm thinking there's going to be some sort of like relationship between him and this god,
Yeah.
where he worships this god and this god will give him just unbelievable power. But then like the fact that it's so is solo leveling, meaning like you're actually like you're doing a grind and you're leveling up, so he's going to go from E to D to C to B to A to S, or to solo leveling meaning like he's going to start closing dungeons by himself, right?
That'd be wild.
Yeah. I'm very curious, but I think there's going to be, because of that emphasis, and they emphasize it again in this episode of what you're born in. So I'm thinking that this guy is going to bestow on him some powers. There's going to be some sort of relationship there. Maybe not a willing relationship. I don't think he's going to be like, oh yeah, this god's great, you should also worship him. But I think there's going to be like sort of, he'll get all these powers, but it's going to come at a cost.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I think. Or if they really want to stay within, because like even training can improve your skills. If you have money to buy the gear,
Yeah.
right? So like, does that mean he's going to get like unbelievable amount of like money from this, and he's going to be able to buy like all super spec'd up gear? I don't think that I think that's a possibility, but I think that's less likely. I think it's because they said player accepted. Would you like to, you know, enter this mission? I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's more like he's going to get like extra powers given to him.
Yeah. I mean, they had a specific reason, from like when I first read it, and like watched this, right? The emphasis on the name player. Like if you play a video game, right? You know,
Hmm.
that's like where I kind of thought of it about it, like I'm trying to think about different avenues of like where it could go and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not gonna
So like
spoil
you're
anything
talking like
for you.
player
So
one, player two type thing. Like,
yeah.
yeah. So now you asked me this already, but I said I would bring it up here.
Yeah.
Did the characters who ran
Yeah.
survive?
Yeah. Did they? I don't know.
And here, I don't really have, because I'm so open to accept whatever the direction this story goes. So there's different things that went through my mind that I told you before we started recording. But here's the one I'm landing on. This is what I'm gonna like stick with,
Yeah.
because like a computer graphic, appeared up to like hit yes or no.
Yeah.
Right, player accepted. The avenue I think I'm going to go with is that everything that happened in this room was a simulation,
Okay.
and that people we saw die didn't actually die, but they got kicked out
At the
of
gate.
the dungeon.
Yeah.
And anyone who ran got kicked out of the dungeon, right? And he's going to be the last one to leave out of the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to close, and that's when we're going to find what new cool stuff he can do.
Yeah.
So
That'd be
that's what
cool.
I think is going to happen.
I mean, I can spoil it all for you if you want.
No, don't, no, no,
I'm
no,
not.
no.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to spoil it for the listeners either. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Obviously, if it's panel for panel like it's had been, it's going to be an amazing ride. I think we're in for like 4 or 5 seasons as well.
Is there any, obviously without spoilers, is there any change that if they made it in the anime versus the manga?
Oh, you mean like the people and everything versus the manga versus the anime?
Yeah.
No, completely the same.
No, I'm saying, do you think there is no? Is there any change that you would be like okay with?
No, I would not be okay with any change at all. I want it
Not
to be
even if
the
they
exact
changed a
same.
little bit of dialogue, how like they did in
I don't care to change dialogue, but as long as the direction that it goes and like the
that's
scenes that happen is the
what
same,
I
I'm
mean.
cool.
Like, because like in Attack on Titan, one of the biggest complaints about the ending of the manga was there was these panels between Armin and Aaron, and Armin, there's some words that were said there that people are like, I don't like that. Well, they didn't like,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, but there was this one specific one that a lot of jokes were made about,
Hmm.
and they didn't really change the the beat of the story, but they did reword some of the dialogue
Gotcha.
in the anime,
Um,
and so that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, are those kinds of changes?
I would rather him not change anything because everything is like a perfect 10 out of 10. No matter what scene you look at in solo leveling, it's all 10 out of 10. So I would not want them to change anything. But if they would, I'd hope they pick like, you know, beach episodes or like festival episodes. I change those things. I don't care about those things, but like don't
Yeah.
change the main like impacts to the
Yep.
story.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
But
overall, great episode. Amazing episode. I was super excited about it.
yeah, and if they keep raising it up each episode like this, like I can see getting like just super hooked on,
I could see
you
you
know,
reading all of the manhwa instead.
I think I will anyway, just because
Well,
it's
I don't know because like, if you wanna watch the anime and, like, wait for the anime, you're gonna be waiting for, like, 4 or 5 years, so I would assume you would if you get really into it.
oh yeah, 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 no, I'm definitely gonna read ahead. I'm not
Yeah.
worried about reading ahead because it's still gonna be amazing to watch it play out on screen,
Oh,
right?
yeah. That'd be still be amazing. Um,
I'm I'm very eager. I'm very eager for when an English dub finally releases
yeah, that'd be awesome.
because I'd be curious which actors are going to choose. They're gonna each role and how different the voice acting is. I mean, like because like I was really confused because it says like on Crunchyroll it says dub, but it's it's Korean dub,
Yep.
not uh so. And that's when I was after that when you're like, oh yeah, it's a Korean story. So,
Yeah,
but all in all, great episode. Blue period.
I know. But yeah, overall, good. I can't wait for the next episode. Another week for it. So, but I don't have
Yeah.
anything else. That was pretty much it. The whole episode. We recapped it all. So
Yeah. Nothing more from me either. Just we might have, another episode, once Chase watches some of the other
that's fair.
anime.
That's fair. I mean, we have
I
a
still think we should
backlog
do
and
week
stuff.
over week. Huh?
We have a backlog. I can post one of those.
No, no. I think actually, what we could do is just record, the other animes and then keep doing week over week with solo leveling.
Until it's finished. So like just 12 episodes straight of it.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
want. I don't know. We'll
I'm
figure it
I'm
out.
totally cool with it.
It would be the first 12-part series that we've ever done.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
yeah. So anyway,
Alrighty.
okay, cool.
Sounds good to me. Um, yeah. We will catch everyone next time when we watch an review Soul Leveling episode 3.
Bye.